What is up, everybody? I'm your host, War Mother Shed, and this is the Growth is Hard podcast where we break generational cycles, curses, and become the best version of ourselves. I don't know about y'all, man, but these storms that have been rolling in have been real nice, real comforting these past couple hours. I just literally woke up and I'm just hearing just lightning, just bam. And typically I go to sleep with that on, but I was like, oh, word, this is real? This is for real right now? Like, oh man, I don't know about y'all, but just when a thunderstorm rolls in, there's some heavy rain going on. That sleep it just hit different. But with storms, I want to help you guys be able to see through a storm that could be going on through your life right now. Something that may be feeling like a cloud is just following you and consistently raining on you, and you don't understand why. But first, let's just do this intro.
My soul wanna break out the labyrinth, I too wanna break out the casket. I do, then they wonder what happened. Back from the dead, I should've said it was killing me. I set up boundaries, jump with the border, and now you're supporting the immigration. Cause I've been there when you needed me most. To get you high even when I was low. Did it then, but I don't do it no more, man. Growth is hard. 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 Growth is always worth it. Growth is Growth is Growth is Growth is
Man, I don't know about y'all, man. Sometimes when we're going through life, we're trying to, of course, do it with the greatest of ease. We're trying to be able to see very clearly, act very thoughtfully, and just move with grace, with ease, with precision. We're trying to be happy. We're trying to make the right decisions, and we're trying to do things that are going to better our lives, better ourselves, make ourselves more comfortable, make ourselves more at peace, eliminate struggles, eliminate worries. It's something that I recently was talking about with a friend of a friend. And to give a little insight, basically she had somebody who she loves and would literally tie the knot with if he had asked, but there were some changes that had arose after some time and relocating, and it was something I wanted to bring to not only her attention, but to y'all's attention. And it's something that they always talk about being optimistic, because it is a good thing. But like even fruits, having 56 apples a day is not good for you. Having too much optimism will literally be your downfall. So she is ready to tie the knot with this man, but had went through some things that had really started to question her stance and ability to be with said person. And I told her frankly, I was like, look, there is the individual that you are contemplating being with, right? You know his name, you know his birthday, you know all these different things about him. But you also know what he's capable of, right? You know his potential, you've seen it. But a lot of times when we see potential, it's in little smaller things here and there, maybe one medium to big thing every once in a while or every blue moon. And then in our mind, we create these images of people, these identities of these great individuals of who they can be, who they could be if they really wanted to. And then that's the kind of person that we visualize ourselves being with, because that's ultimately who we want to be with, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense to be with this individual who could be more outgoing, that could be more accountable, more loving, thoughtful, all these different things. But in reality, your partner is exactly who they are when they're right in front of you. This idea, this identity you've created in your mind, all that potential doesn't exist if they do not acknowledge it, if they do not act on it. And that is where people's optimism can blind them or steer them in a path that can end up hurting them, because wanting the best for others when they don't want it for themselves is a hard thing to go through. It's a hard thing to deal with, because you see so many good and positive things in people, and a hard pill to swallow is that you can't save everybody. Because a lot of times when you're trying to help people, it's just these little things they could be doing to better themselves. It's these little things they could be doing to get them where they want to be. But if they're not willing to do that already, if they're not willing to acknowledge, change what they're doing, and quite frankly, act on it, that potential was never there. That's the potential you carry in yourself. That's the potential that you are able to visualize because it's something that more than likely you would be the one to act on. It's something that I wish I knew earlier in my life. It would have really changed the way that I view people, I view things, and especially I viewed myself. So I wanted to share with y'all that your optimism is a great tool, but also it can be a very blinding and dangerous tool if you don't keep it in check. You're supposed to make money. Don't let the money make you. So don't let optimism make you see things that aren't reality. People are only as good as they show you to be. So when it comes to partners, work relationships, friends, family, whatever it is, it's always good to have faith in people. Trust that they'll do these things for themselves and do whatever they need to do, because that's what people should do, right? That's what you would do. But when they don't do it for themselves, do not act on the potential in your mind of what they should be doing, almost like you're disappointed or there was an expectation, because you created those expectations in your mind, and they're showing you in reality what they're capable of. Now they start changing and doing those things that was going on in your mind that you've been relaying and conversing, negotiating with them, by all means, hold them accountable. But creating expectations without a conversation is what ultimately leads to the downfall of so many relationships and partnerships. That optimism can blindly create expectations that aren't real because they're not agreed upon. So, keep things short. Don't let your optimism blind yourself. It's good to be optimistic. It's good to have faith in people. It's good to have a number of positive outlooks in life. But also don't forget that this is still reality, and it's right in front of you. No different than if I had a log, right? And I can see all this potential in the log. It could be a cabin. It could be a fire. It could be a workshop. It could be all these different things, right? And because I have the tools to make it all these different things, I can do that. I'm willing to do that because I have that potential and I know what it can be. But once you give that log autonomy, right? You give it its own being, its own self, its own consciousness, right? If that log didn't want to be any of those things to begin with, what makes you think it's going to be that now that you just brought it up to it? What makes you think it wants to be a log cabin just because it can, just because it'd be better for it? You can't be disappointed in that log based on the expectations you created for it in your mind, just because it would be better for it. optimistically, right? So, thank you all so much for tuning in this week. I am in the process of getting some things set up for a show next month, and I am so excited to reveal the details as soon as I can. I'm actually doing an interview tomorrow with a really good friend of mine, so I'll be giving more details about that here in the next week. Also, great news. So these summer classes that I'll be getting into, about to accelerate this degree plan, real excited about that. I got some new photos from this photo shoot coming in. I'm just like, ooh, let the blessings rain in on me. Let them rain in on me. Man, I want y'all to inbox, comment, tell me all these stories that have been going on in your life. Tell me what's going on. What's something that's been troubling you? What's something that's been on your mind lately? I want to build this relationship with my listeners and get to know them more personally. I want to know what's going on in your life, something you've been battling, something you've been dealing with. Let me see if I can give some advice, some counsel to help further you along your path, your growth plan, because there's so many people that I feel like have tremendous things going on in their life, but whether they're too prideful, they're too scared, they're too nervous, nobody can help me type mindsets. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. We're here for you. And the community that we're going to create is going to help you get where you want to be. All you got to do is ask. To say ask and you shall receive. So, tune in with me next week, Monday, 4 p.m. As always, I am your host, War Mother Shed. This is the Growth is Hard podcast.
My soul wanna break out the labyrinth. I too wanna break out the casket. I do, then they wonder what happened. Back from the dead, I should've said it was killing me. I set up boundaries, jump with the border, and now you're supporting the immigration. Cause I've been there when you needed me most. To get you high even when I was low. Did it then, but I don't do it no more, man. Growth is hard. 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 Growth is always worth it. Growth is growth is growth is growth is